The WNBA Finals just recorded its largest audience since 2001, and all of this was without the one and only Caitlin Clark. Game 2 of the WNBA Finals racked up 1.35 million viewers, and as you can see from this chart right here, it had been over 20 years since the WNBA Finals had seen over a million viewers. There had been a lot of discussions around the topic of if the WNBA ratings would fall off when the Indiana Fever were eliminated from the playoffs. The ratings have been a massive topic of discussion for this entire season.
All right, let's play a quick game. I'm gonna give you some TV ratings and you tell me if they're for an NBA game or a WNBA game. Ready? 2.5 million viewers. Sounds like NBA territory, right? Wrong. That was a WNBA playoff game this year. Mind blown. But here's the real kicker. That's not even the craziest stat we've got. We're about to dive into numbers that are gonna make you question everything you thought you knew about sports ratings. You ready for this? Alright, let's talk about the Caitlin Clark effect. You know how everyone's been buzzing about her, right? Well, there's a reason for that. When Caitlin joined the WNBA, something crazy happened. Suddenly everyone was tuning in to watch. But here's the thing, some people were quick to dismiss it. They were saying, oh, it's just because she's new, it'll wear off. But let's look at the numbers because they tell a different story. Clark's games were pulling in over 1.7 million viewers on average. That's not just good, that's insane. To put that in perspective, that's like filling up 85 massive arenas every single game. And we're not talking about some tiny college gyms here, we're talking NBA-sized stadiums. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but that's just Caitlin, right?
The viewership numbers with Caitlin Clark are astronomical. She's a big draw, she brings in all the things. And yes, the games where she's not playing have lower viewership. So these numbers are still really high and they're still really meaningful. And yet some people continue to flip that. I've seen Stephen A. Smith talk about it. I've seen Shannon Sharp talk about it. And what I don't understand is they work for ESPN. Now, Stephen A. Smith is no stranger to a healthy debate. And he heard what Sue Bird had to say and he responded to that on his own podcast.
I'm supposed to ignore the astronomical impact she has had compared to others? How Team USA was stupid for not putting her on a team to make sure you help uplift the sport even more. Don't y'all want a greater profile? Don't y'all want more notoriety? Don't y'all want more hype?
Wrong. Here's where it gets really interesting. The whole league was getting a boost. Even games without Clark were seeing way more viewers than before. It's like Caitlin lit a fuse, and now the whole WNBA is exploding. Imagine this. You've got a game between two teams. Neither of them has Caitlin Clark. In the past, that might have been a quiet night for the WNBA, but now those games are pulling in numbers that would make some NBA executives jealous. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of extra viewers tuning in, just because the league as a whole is on fire. So what's really going on here?
Game 1, 700,000. Game 2, 600,000. Game 3, 600,000. Game 4, almost 900,000. And the series averaged around 728,000 viewers for the entire finals. The Game 2 matchup from the Indiana Fever versus the Connecticut Sun, they garnered 2.5 million viewers on ESPN. So that is still almost double the amount of viewers that we are seeing in the WNBA Finals. The Caitlin Clark games had over 1.178 million viewers. So that is on average how many people were tuning in every single week to watch Caitlin Clark.
Is it all about Caitlin, or is something bigger happening? It's like the WNBA found a cheat code for popularity, and Caitlin was just the one who entered it. But the game was already primed for this explosion. Think about it like this. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon. She's got skills that make your jaw drop, but she's also got this magnetic personality that draws people in. When she steps on the court, it's not just a game, it's an event. And that excitement, it's contagious. But here's the kicker. That excitement isn't just staying with Caitlin's games. It's spreading throughout the entire league. It's like people tuned in for Clark, but stayed for the incredible level of play they saw across the board. Suddenly fans are realizing, hey, this whole league is full of amazing players. Now hold on to your seats because we're about to uncover the WNBA's best kept secret.
And what I don't understand with what Sue Bird has to say is it feels like to me sometimes when we talk about the WNBA, we are almost talking about it as a charity case. Candace Parker came out and she said that a lot of players are really sensitive to criticism and debate around the sport because for many, many years, the WNBA has been kind of the butt of jokes. You kind of have to step lightly and tread lightly around the facts that are, like we're talking about here, ratings, numbers, viewership.
What if Caitlin Clark was just the spark that ignited an inferno that was ready to explode? There's a twist to this story that nobody saw coming, and it's changing the game forever. You know how everyone thought the WNBA's ratings were riding on Caitlin Clark's coattails? Well, get this. The playoffs roll around, and boom, Indiana gets knocked out. People are thinking, that's it, show's over, folks. But then something wild happens. The ratings don't just hold steady, they keep soaring. We're talking about games pulling in almost 1 million viewers. For the WNBA, that's not just good, that's earth-shattering. The semifinals between the New York Liberty and Minnesota Lynx, they're crushing it. Game 1 averaged 929,000 viewers. That's up 27% from last year's finals. Let that sink in for a second. This year's semis are beating last year's championship games. So what's the deal? Is it just leftover buzz from Clark's rookie season, or is there something bigger going on here? Turns out the WNBA's been playing 4D chess while everyone else was focused on checkers. Here's the scoop. The league's been quietly building something special for years. They've been improving everything. The players, the games, the stories. It's like they've been cooking up this incredible feast, and Caitlin Clark just happened to be the appetizer that got everyone to the table. And think about it. The WNBA's been around since 1997. That's over 25 years of refining their products. They've been working on their craft, honing their skills, and building a league that can stand toe-to-toe with any other pro sport out there. And now we're seeing the results of all that hard work. It's not just about having star players anymore, it's about having teams full of incredible athletes who can put on a show night after night. It's about nail-biting finishes, breathtaking plays, and rivalries that keep you on the edge of your seat. The WNBA's created a product that's just flat out entertaining, whether you're a die-hard basketball fan or someone who's just tuning in for the first time. And people are noticing. It's not just die-hard fans anymore. We're talking about casual viewers, sports enthusiasts, even people who never gave women's basketball a second thought before. They're tuning in, and more importantly, they're sticking around. These new viewers aren't just a flash in the pan, they're part of a seismic shift in the WNBA's popularity. But here's the real kicker. The explosion in viewership is just the tip of the iceberg. The stats behind this surge tell a story that's gonna change how you see women's basketball forever. Let's talk numbers, because these stats are absolutely mind-blowing. The WNBA's been around for a while, sure, but something's different now. We're seeing figures that haven't popped up in decades. You know what's crazy? Playoff viewership is up 142% from last year. That's not a typo, folks. We're talking about more than doubling the audience in just one season. And it's not just 1 or 2 games hitting it big. This growth is happening across the board. Every single playoff game is pulling in numbers that would make other sports leagues green with envy. You know what's even wilder? The WNBA is hitting viewership levels it hasn't seen since its first season back in 1997. That's right, we're talking about a 25-year flashback, but with way better basketball. And picture this. Game 1 of the WNBA Finals this year, it pulled in 1.1 million viewers. Last year, the same matchup got 729,000 viewers. That's a 57% jump. It's like the whole country suddenly realized there's this incredible basketball happening right under their noses. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about more people watching. The quality of play is through the roof. We're talking about games that keep you on the edge of your seat, plays that make you rewind your TV just to see them again. The level of talent in the WNBA right now, it's off the charts. Experts are saying this isn't just a temporary bump. They're predicting this growth is gonna keep on going. Why? Because the WNBA isn't just riding a wave of popularity, they're building something sustainable. The league's got better TV deals, more social media buzz, and players who are becoming household names. So what does all this mean for the future of women's basketball? Well, we're not just talking about a sport that's growing. We're talking about a league that's redefining what's possible. The WNBA isn't just catching up to other sports leagues. In some ways, it's blazing past them. Hold up though, if the WNBA is on fire, who lit the match? This surge isn't random chance. There's a perfect storm brewing in women's basketball, and it's about to change how we think about sports forever. Let's break it down. The WNBA's been around since '97, but suddenly it's the hottest ticket in town. Why now? Is it just luck? No way. It's like all the pieces of a puzzle finally clicked into place. Think about it. The league's got better TV deals now. You can catch games on major networks, primetime slots. That's huge. More eyeballs, more fans, and social media. It's buzzing with WNBA content. Players are becoming household names. You've got stars like Aja Wilson and Brianna Stewart dropping highlight reels that go viral faster than you can say three-pointer. But here's the thing, and it's not just about marketing. The product on the court, it's fire. The games are more exciting than ever. You've got nail-biting finishes, incredible athleticism, and storylines that keep you hooked all season long. It's not just women's basketball, it's great basketball, period. And that's where the real magic happens. People aren't tuning in because they feel like they should watch women's sports. They're watching because it's top-tier entertainment. The skill level is through the roof. You've got players pulling off moves that make you rewind your TV just to see it again. Now, mix all that with a cultural shift. People are hungry for new sports content, and they're more open to women's leagues than ever before. The WNBA isn't just riding that wave, they're creating it. They're showing that women's sports can be just as thrilling, just as competitive, and just as worthy of the spotlight as any men's league. You know what's crazy? This perfect storm isn't just changing the WNBA, it's changing how we think about sports as a whole. Other leagues are taking notice. They're seeing what's possible when you invest in women's sports, when you market it right, when you let the talent shine. So here we are, watching the WNBA rewrite the playbook on what women's sports can achieve. It's not just a growth spurt, it's a full-on revolution. The league's exploding in popularity, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. We're talking about a perfect storm of talent, marketing, and cultural shift that's changing the game forever. You know what's wild? This isn't just about basketball. The WNBA's success is opening doors for women's sports across the board. It's proving that when you give female athletes the spotlight, people will tune in, and not just because it's women playing, but because it's incredible sports, period. So, are you ready to witness history? Because the WNBA isn't just playing games anymore. They're changing the entire sports landscape, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.